All right, what's going on, everyone? Captain here, back with another Marvel Contest of Champions video. Today we're going to be diving into Guardian, a new character that was just recently added into the game, and today we have ourselves a content creator program video. Now in the past, these used to be characters that would get granted to our accounts. We'd have special access to them for a brief time and then they'd be taken away from our account. It's sort of working similar, except now instead of being added onto our actual account, they've created a separate beta server for everyone that's in the content creator program so that we could test them out in there so it doesn't affect anything in game. Possibly we can't get in trouble with any of that kind of stuff. We also have more freedom in terms of ranking up, using awakening gems, leveling up as high as we want. They granted us the 5 and the 6 star, and we can test out a bunch of other stuff. And along with just testing those characters, we can test a bunch of other characters. Any character we want, we could basically rank up and test them out. So I've got some fun videos planned for that. One about my boy Loki, so you're definitely going to want to catch that one. I've already recorded that one before I did this one because I was more excited about that one, honestly. But Guardian is pretty awesome, so let's go ahead and jump into Guardian. And here we are at Guardian. We're going to be heading up north for this one, heading up to Canada, where my boy Legacy lives. I know he was pumped when he heard that a Canadian-based character was getting added, and for any of you other Canadians, I'm sure you were as well. Kabam is headquartered in Canada, or at least the people that work for Marvel Contest of Champions are, so I know they're all excited about it as well, so it makes sense that they would bring one eventually. So here we go. He is a tech-based character. Let's go ahead, jump into his abilities. I've already taken him up to rank 3, level 45. Basically, this guy, he can do some big damage. One of his big things, though, you will notice is he does not land any critical hits, but when he would land a critical hit, he instead inflicts a direct damage based on a direct shock damage. So they'll pop up in the red numbers. Those are the red numbers you'll be seeing once we get into the gameplay, but you won't see any of the big yellow numbers, but you will be seeing some big red numbers, so those are fun to see. He can also parry the mastery against non-contact attacks, so things like Havoc, Iron Man, Infinity War, stuff like that. When they're medium attacks, normally you can't parry them. This dude can. I did test him against Havoc. Certain Havocs he won't work against, because I noticed a lot of Havocs tend to have like crumbling armor on, and so if you don't have your armor up, you kind of get screwed there. But I'm sure there's some Havocs out there that he might work on. Abyss of Legends, I don't know. I haven't tested it myself. Let's see. What else is there to say about this guy? So he has an indefinite armor up, similar to... let's see, what is like Warlock, and if it ever falls off over a period of time, it regenerates itself and comes back on. He has a chance for on well-timed blocks to have 100% perfect block chance, so that's kind of a fun thing to have. But his big thing is his force field. So you'll indefinitely gain 3 force fields. They last for 20, or no, sorry, you get one every 12 seconds. That's what it is. Every 12 seconds, you gain a force field, up to 3 indefinite, and then after that, the 4th one will start falling off over time. You can gain more by using a special 1. You get 3 from using a special 1 that lasts for 6 seconds, or if you use a special 3, you gain 6 that again are indefinite. So special 3 is where it's at. In terms of gaining the force field charges, and then the special 2 is the money maker. This is where you're going to get all those big red damage numbers. So on the special 2, you consume all of the force field charges, increasing your attack by over 3,700. Again, this is as a rank 3 6 star for each force field charge for the duration of the special attack. So basically, you could go into a fight of a character that has a lot of health. If you build up on the special 3, these indefinite force field charges, get that as high as you want, and then smack them with an SP2, you're getting a lot of extra damage based on however many you built up. So it just kind of depends on how long you want the fight to take. And let's see. Also, if he has 3+ force field charges, he consumes 1 armor up to inflict a shock on the opponent as well. So, and that only lasts for 3 seconds. Special 3 also puts a longer shock that lasts 20 seconds, which I will showcase in a fight in a little bit here of where I found that to be very useful. So that's kind of a quick rundown of his abilities. Quickly touch on his awakened ability. He basically just kind of gets some resistance stuff. So at first, it doesn't look like anything flashy, which it's really not. You know, increased block proficiency, energy resistance, bleed resistance, and critical damage resistance. The main one I want to point out there is the bleed resistance. Basically, almost 80% bleed resistant at Sig 200. That right there makes this character so much more of a suicide friendly character because you're resisting bleeds a lot more on top of coagulate. You're going to be regenning similar to how Corvus, when a bleed is on him, or with Omega Red, the bleed is on him, you're gaining health over the poison even on top of it. So yeah, at max Sig, you're gaining more. I don't remember how it's scaled exactly. I didn't look at it where you need to get to what Sig level you need to get him to in order so that you are regenerating over the amount of damage you're taking, but I thought that was pretty cool because even in some of my fights I don't even have coagulate activated and I'm just barely losing any health, so that's pretty cool. You don't even need to have the coagulate to still not be too penalized by it. So that bleed resistance is the thing that popped out to me the most out of that awakened ability. Otherwise, it's just kind of there. So lastly, we'll show his synergies. Whoops, that's his bio. You can read that at your own time. So he has a synergy with himself. He gains extra block proficiency. Or all champions except Guardian gain block proficiency. Then he's got one with a couple mutants and Squirrel Girl. It says the first 3 blocks are 100% chance to be perfect block. So pretty self-explanatory. One with Sasquatch here. Well-timed blocks inflict a shock debuff, dealing 50% of attack rating as energy damage. So another nice synergy that I forgot about actually that I could be useful in a fight that I'm going to show later on. And then this one is the one that I think is kind of the most valuable. Otherwise, the rest of these aren't super good. The last one's just friends and teammates. But this one, with Mole Man, he gains 1 additional of those charges whenever if he's at 0, if he gains 1, instead he's going to gain 2. So he just kind of gains an extra one at the beginning of the fight or after you use a special 2, basically. So it's kind of nice, useful, but not super necessary. But that's it for his abilities. Let's go ahead, jump over into some gameplay now, and I'll show you guys some fun stuff you can do with Guardian. So to get us started, let's jump into that first clip I showed at the very beginning of the video. We are up against Star-Lord in Labyrinth of Legends right here. So not the most ideal matchup. I was just trying to find a character that would have a lot of health so that I could see how big I could do the damage. So you can see I'm up to 24 charges of those indefinite ones. Well, 23 indefinite, and I'm just getting 1 passively. Always, but then it falls off, but then it refreshes as you just saw. So I've used my special 3, I think it's what, four times at this point. So I'm up to 24, using it 1 more time here. This is going to get me up to 30, and then I'm going to be using a special 2. So another thing that makes him very suicide friendly is just the fact that, you know, mainly you're just using the special 3 to gain those indefinite charges, and then using a special 2 that's going to end the fight in most cases, outside of like Labyrinth or Abyss. Now, does that mean that he is the best Abyss or one of the better Abyss or Labyrinth options? I don't know. The fights do kind of take a while because it does take a while to build up these charges. Like I cut out most of the build up into this, but you can see he doesn't gain power super fast. Maybe if you put him with a power gain team, it might make it a little bit quicker. But you can see we're gonna get to a special 2 here now with 30, and boom, there is all those big numbers. 99k on a couple of those, and yeah, that's some nice damage. So as you can predict, like when we're facing characters that don't have a lot of health, they're going to be dropping fast. And speaking of some characters that don't have a lot of health compared to Labyrinth, that is, at least, here we are over in Variant 3, which is the tech-based one. I'm in the final chapter of Kang, and this entire path has recharge, which means you don't gain power from as much power when doing normal attacks. Hold your block and you'll gain power. All or nothing as well, and then power shield. So power shield, my basic attacks don't do any damage, only my special attacks do, and it's a 400% increase. So that combined with recharge, where I can just hold heavy and then go straight up to my special 3 and get those 6 indefinite charges right off the bat, I was like, this is going to be a great combination, I have a feeling. So there we go. We can see that special 3 did about 25% health. So we're just going to do the same thing. Hold our heavy attack, get to the special 2, intercept him with the special attack, and yeah, I didn't even need the second half of that special attack. He was just already dead. And again, this is a rank 3. Now, when Variant 3 first came out, rank 3s were not even close to an option yet. So these health pools weren't geared toward rank 3 6-stars, I don't think. But hey, it's a thing now in the game. If you haven't done Variant 3 and you happen to get yourself a Guardian, I mean, I know everyone has a 3-star one. This might be an option, maybe even with a 3-star. Maybe you could test it out. Maybe I could test it out. But we can see we're just going to go through this entire lane doing the same strategy, and every fight's going to end the exact same way. I probably could cut out some of these clips. I probably don't need to show all of them. You get the point. I use a special 3 just from holding my heavy attack. Hold the heavy attack again, and there we go. We got to the special 2, and I was hoping she was going to intercept me there, but she didn't, but that's fine. Took a little recoil damage. Whatever. There we go. We'll just hold it again. Again, she has all or nothing, so she's not going to be throwing any specials until she gets to that special 3. There we go, again with the overkill on the special 2. And we just did this all the way through. I'll show this one last fight, and then we'll jump to the Kang boss fight at the end, because that's the fight which was what got me deciding to go in this quest in the first place, because if you're familiar with the fight, it is a pretty annoying one if you don't have a decent shocker. If you don't have a character that can put a shock or an incinerate on him, he will keep regenning his health. So I'll talk more into that fight when we get there, but here we go on this Human Torch. Lastly, getting a special 3 off once again, doing basically the same amount of damage that we've done on the other fights so far. And we'll hold RZ. I was wondering if maybe even I just went straight with a special 2 on the first, it might have killed him even with just a few of the charges, but I never actually tested it because this was just so much fun to do it like that. So there we go. This path is super easy with Guardian. And last but not least, here we are at Kang. So this Kang is the final boss of Variant 3, unblockable specials. But mainly the thing is that selective time strain. Every 20 seconds, the defender's health is instantly restored to full, and any debuffs on them are removed. Its only way to prevent the heal reversal or the heal regaining is if an incinerate or a shock debuff is active at the time when it expires. So basically right now I'm just trying to build up to my special 3. I'm not worrying about getting a shock on him. Now this is the fight that I was talking about earlier when I said the Sasquatch synergy, which if you remember, if I land a perfect block, I think it was, I get it places a shock on the opponent. So I don't remember the exact how long that shock lasts, but it could be decent. But remember on Guardian, his shock on the special 3 lasts for 20 seconds. The shock on the timer on Kang is 20 seconds. So that's perfect. So what I did was I used my special 3 right here, right after it expired. That way it covers the next 2 phases of the shock. So I'm covered now. I'm trying to build back up. I want to get to a second special 2 or special 3 and then use the special 2 because I tested it. I did a couple runs on this. One special 3 wasn't enough. You needed to at least have 2 special 3s with the indefinite charges and then use the special 2. So you can see here my shock is still up and the timer expires. He doesn't lose his health. I get smacked by the special 1, so that wasn't ideal, but we're still alive. We survived it, so we're fine. We have enough time now to get to another special 3. The timer hasn't popped up yet. We're going to kind of try to delay it and use it right before it's going to expire this time. That way we're covered for this phase. You won't regain any health. So now we know we're good because we have a 100% chance to put that shock on Kang. So again, now we've got 20 seconds plus a couple extra seconds because we used it right before in order to get up to a special 2. Or actually no, we'll have a whole phase because it saved it from that one, and it'll be still up by the time this next one expires. And then we should have enough for a special 2 by then, and hopefully the special 2 will be enough to take down King. This fight can be kind of annoying, but it was kind of fun to do it with Guardian here. So there we go, we lasted out the second one, got enough for a special 2 here, gonna hit him with a special 2, and the shock ticks him away at the end there, and down goes Kang. So he may not be the perfect answer for the fight, but he can definitely do it. So there you have it, guys. That is my guide on Guardian. So a couple things I forgot to mention too is visually, his block animation might be my favorite block animation in the game now. The giant maple leaf that pops up, it looks so cool. I love it. It feels very smooth to play. He doesn't feel sloppy or anything. So I had a lot of fun playing with this character. Has some good utility, and like I said, potential if you run suicides. He's really good for that. The no critting can be definitely useful on certain nodes that you get penalized from landing a crit and stuff like that. So he could definitely be useful in there. And I'm sure he has his weaknesses, but we'll find those as we go. But right now, guys, he's looking like definitely one of the better champions they have added in 2020. So let me know your guys' thoughts on Guardian down below. And like I said, keep an eye out for another video soon from this special content creator beta about Loki. It will be up. Haven't decided if I'm going to post it the same day as this video or the next day. I don't know yet. We'll see. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.